Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to our final interview for the morning. It is exactly 9:54 a.m. South African time, and the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah this year has authorized and accredited the handling of Hajj applications of applicants from the Americas, Europe, and Australia exclusively to an external company called Mutawaf. Now, according to the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah in its official statement, the online platform was meant to meet the aspirations of honorable pilgrims from these countries and ensure quick and easy procedures. Not so, says Mohammad Jibran, producer of Haramain Sharifain. Salamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you for having me.
This sounds like quite a nightmare for the Muslim Ummah of the UK trying to book and depart for the journey of a lifetime, their journey of Hajj. Tell us what has happened thus far. You've started, obviously, Haramain Sharifain. The type of complaints you've come across, and why was it so necessary for you to go public with this matter?
Yes, so basically, what is happening uh, since a few weeks now, we saw that many Hujjaj from all over the world were starting to arrive since early June. But pilgrims from the Americas, Australia, and Europe were still in limbo of whether they will be going to Hajj or not, because there were no clear directions from the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah to how to even initiate applications for the Hujjaj. So there were some talk behind the scenes that the Hajj Ministry was going to overhaul the system completely and move to online applications. So, and then we saw that the Mutawif platform came into being, that the Hujjaj will now directly deal with an online company to book for the Hajj applications exclusively. So since that began, our platforms and privately, we have been receiving tons of complaints from people because of so many issues. The first and the foremost was like the whole drawing process. When the application first went online for and open for registration, the application crashed completely. People were not able to submit their names for the draw at all. And then what eventually happened was that there were no clear communication from Mutawif at all, because you were relying on an unseen person behind the screen. You couldn't like communicate directly with the person. That was not the case before. If you had any problems with your applications or you were facing any issues, you could go to an agent and he could solve it for you because he was authorized. But in this case, it was not possible. So now, what people were doing, were they were left in limbo. They were left confused. They had invested so much money into the platform, and they weren't receiving the customer service they had hoped to desire. And Motawif was continuously changing their statements regarding how the whole procedure was being played out. First, they said that there was a draw going to take place. Even the Hajj ministry told in its official statement that a draw will be conducted to select Hujjaj because of the limited capacity of Hujjaj set this year. So, but people got different messages that your applications are pending, and if your application is approved, then it means you can book packages. So people were left confused that was there even a draw taken place or not, or our applications are just being approved on first come first services. Mutawif was continuously saying, we will like review your application first. If it's pending and if it's approved, then you can go ahead with the booking. So people were very confused. Now that was the whole obstacle of like booking. When people came to payment side, they had to like there was a problem of technical problems with the Motowif platform for paying also. It took people up to like 72 hours and up to a week sometimes to complete their payments. Obviously when you're paying for Hajj, it's like in thousands of dollars and pounds. So people like were very confused and stressed, and their banks were being. We heard complaints of banks releasing
Oh.
statements calm people down that uh, everything is okay from our side. You need to contact the company, but the company was like. Uh, Completely incommunicado. They were like not
It's a
communicating.
faceless company for now. Mohammed, just remind me your interest in this whole matter, and where are you based? Are you in the Holy Lands or are you in the UK?
I'm usually in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but currently I'm not in the kingdom right now at this moment. But usually I'm in the kingdom. I'm not from the UK based. The Our organization is based in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so tell me, what's your organization and what sort of work are you doing in the UK? And raising these issues, are you not putting yourself at any sort of risk?
Actually, our there is no connection of us from the UK whatsoever. Our organization is simply a news publication which focuses on matters, news, and from the two holy mosques. And we also cover Hajj and Umrah. We have this whole coverage of Hajj every year. We cover Umrah matters, and basically guide pilgrims from all over the world who are non-Arabic speakers mostly.
Okay, you are the producer of Haramain Sharifain, bringing, Hajj and Umrah matters to the people in the kingdom. I just assumed you were in the UK, so apologies for that. But undoubtedly, the people, the Muslim Ummah in the Western world, are really suffering losses, I should imagine. As you said earlier on, they in limbo right now. And I also understand because they were unable to go through their normal travel agencies, that they are not covered. So if they incur any losses, if they don't get their money back from this online app, this Mutawif, um, is there any chance at all that, something can be done, that they will be probably reimbursed and put on a short list for next year, for example? What are you hearing on the ground there? Uh, and have you tried to make contact with the people behind Mutawif?
So we have been trying to initiate contact with Mutawif, but I can say clearly even this today that we haven't heard back from them. So we do have some sources in the Hajj ministry from where we get regular information, like before it's made official. So I can say for now officially that from a source that they are investigating matters behind the scenes, and from the source, it's he said clearly that we take the from the Hajj ministry. They said that we take the complaints of its guests very seriously, and there will be accountability of any problems faced by the pilgrims. So, and he also reiterated that last year, when for even small things such as serving stale foods to Hujjaj last year, licenses of companies were revoked on that. So he stressed on that such matters are taken very seriously, and if Hujjaj are facing very much bigger issues this year, accountability will be done in due time.
Has your source indicated? I mean, to me, it seems as if this was a very rash decision on their part, that this system was not tested, tried and tested. And this announcement was made almost at the 11th hour on the Muslims in the Western world. Do you get the same sense that I do, that no proper testing was put in place and they were very hasty in introducing the system?
Yes, I definitely do agree with you on this. That it was like put like Western countries were like guinea pigs this year to be put on test with this system, and I do not understand the logic behind why the Hajj ministry would put its reputation up to such a big risk. The work on this project has been going on since a few years, and many agencies in the UK and around the world have been involved in it. And how could they contribute to this online system? There are many people in the UK and around the world who knew the system would be coming up, but they didn't knew that it would come so fast, and like before, like literally 4 weeks before Hajj, it would be like put to test to the pilgrims. So everyone is shocked this year. in the kingdom also and around the world.
And undoubtedly, it's put the Hajj and Umrah industries in the Western world out of business, I should imagine. Because if your business was focusing solely on Hajj and Umrah trips, your you're out of business because it's now being done via the online system. Has your source then indicated, um, possibly given you almost a guarantee that the people who have paid up front and haven't managed to secure a place, a flight ticket and hotel accommodation, that they will be fully reimbursed? Have you had that sort of reassurance at all?
Well, the question which I asked to the source was like, the source is like, the how the media works in Saudi Arabia. It's like a kind of constricted, and they can't give out all the information. So the answer he gave to my question was that at that moment, like the whole drawing process and the payment processes, the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah was not actively involved in that process. So basically, they gave out the accreditation to an external company completely. So Matawif and all its subsidiaries are currently taking over that matter. So the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, I think because I do not know for sure, the source didn't answer that it will be just taking accountability if it has to, after the Hajj season. I don't think anything would happen right now at this point because we're so close to Hajj, and whatever we need to know regarding reimbursement or refunds will just come directly from Mutawif at this point.
Okay, that is really a little bit not totally reassuring, but that does then give people a sense of security that they may be able to get their money back. Finally, I've been hearing and reading about reports that this company, Mutawif, or perhaps uh, they've probably outsourced their call centers to a company or companies in India. That doesn't sit very well with the Muslim world. Very, you know, since these Islamophobic attacks on Muslims in India, that really does add insult to injury, doesn't it? We also know that India runs probably the biggest call center units in the world. So that probably would be the reason why the kingdom has outsourced their call center operations to India. Do you know anything more to that than I have just shared with you? Is that in fact true?
Actually, I do not know more than you do because there has been no official response from either Mutawif or the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. And frankly speaking, I don't think we will be hearing anything from them because usually these type of things are not commented on by the ministry nor the company which accreditation is given to. And I agree with all the points you have raised regarding the insecurity, and how the Muslims feel right now regarding what's happening in India and outsourcing of all that. But I don't think that we'll be hearing anything officially.
Okay, so we will leave it there. Thank you for sharing the limited information that you have with us. We do appreciate it. The one positive thing that has come out of this is your source at the Hajj Ministry. I feel quite comforted knowing that people who have already paid up front and do not go on Hajj will inshallah be reimbursed. But we will be talking with you sometime again in the future. Thank you indeed for your
I,
time on this
I,
matter.
can I add one more thing regarding the
Please
accountability?
do.
So basically, the Hajj ministry, as I said, takes matter very seriously, and I was reiterated that. Last year, when these sort of things happened regarding Hajj, where people were served stale foods or they weren't given accommodation for which they paid for, the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman, actually removed the Hajj minister of that time over these allegations, and there was quite an uproar at that time on social media of the local Hujjaj, especially the Saudi citizens. So the Hajj minister was removed from his position, and the new currency which we have right now was the former minister of health. So I think there will be an accountability, and when we are now seeing an unprecedented backlash from medias around the world, So definitely, we can assure people, and I think I'm assuring people privately as well, that there will be accountability. But you have
Okay.
to wait for.
Inshallah. Okay. And undoubtedly, people in the UK, US, and Australia will take these matters up with the consulates in their different countries. Inshallah. Thank you indeed for sharing your thoughts with us on the show today. Go well. Keep us in your du'as, and salamu alaikum to you.
Walaikum assalam wa
And that's where we wrap up today's show. But I do have to say that I'm going to be ending on a rather dark and grim note. And that is the breaking news that we've just received is that ESCOM has warned of possible stage 6 power cuts from 5 o'clock this evening. Let me repeat that on a very, very dark and grim note. ESCOM has warned of possible stage 6 power cuts from 5 o'clock this evening. And that's where we leave it. It's 10 minutes after 10 o'clock. Nasreen Naidu, the producer, has been running solo in the studio today because the rest of the crew are at Kurtuba in Linbro Park. So thank you indeed, Nasreen, for running solo and doing a great job. From me, Julie Ali, thank you for your company. Till tomorrow morning at the same time as always. Assalamu alaikum and Khudafiz.